A grain of sand weighs somewhere around a couple of grams. How many grains of sand do you think it would take to crush a person? I'm a pretty big guy and could probably handle a couple 100,000 grains of sand at the very least. Now, for the sake of argument, let's just say that each grain of sand represents a lie your wife told you. That changes a lot, doesn't it? The first couple of grains of sand are just an irritation, sort of like a little bug flying around your head when you try to swat it. Multiply that number by 10 and you start to get a little worried. When you increase it to 25, you become uncomfortable and begin to feel a dull ache in your chest. At 50, you feel as if you have an elephant sitting on your chest, and all the air is being squeezed out of your lungs. Anything over 60 destroys the chest and crushes the heart. Now, all you have is a straight line on the monitor and a loud howl that doesn't bring anyone back to life. In my case, the elephant simply entered the room. After 8 years of marriage to the same woman, you get to know her quite well. Lisa and I have been together for 9 years and married for a little over 8. We have a daughter, Jackie, who is 6 years old, and a son, David, who is almost 2. I'm not going to bore you with the story of how we met, fell in love, and got married, because right now it doesn't matter. My problem is that I would swear Lisa was cheating on me. No, she doesn't work a lot of overtime with her boss or stay late at bachelorette parties, and our sex life is pretty strong considering how active our home lives are. She just wasn't the same Lisa for a while and acted differently, but I just couldn't figure out why. That is, until recently, I do a regular boring office job from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week. I work in accounting and am responsible for the payment division of Ajax Sign. I, along with my 2 clerks, make sure that our company's bills are paid on time. Pretty exciting stuff, isn't it? I sit in front of a damn computer screen all day comparing purchase orders to vendor invoices. I'm pretty good at what I do and have caught more than one employee cheating. It's just that sometimes I'm so bored that I want to scream. Lisa works for a marketing firm in town that does quite a bit of business with our company. We met when her company opened a new account. I handled the paperwork myself, and Lisa was my first point of contact. I don't think our life is wild and exciting, but at least I thought our marriage was pretty strong until this happened a couple of months ago. Our downward spiral started so slowly that I didn't even notice it coming, even though the clues were right in front of me. And I think I played a small part in changing her, but it was all out of love. After David's birth and subsequent night feedings, Lisa's body clock went haywire. She woke up somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning and could not fall asleep for another couple of hours. No matter how hard she tried. The doctor told her it would pass, but told her to do something when she woke up to make her sleepy or tire herself out. We tried having sex for a couple of weeks, but it only made us both tired in the morning, although it always brought a smile to my face. Then she tried to watch TV, but at 3 there was almost nothing interesting there. She eventually started surfing the web on the desktop computer in our bedroom. "Happy birthday," I said, returning home Tuesday evening with a brightly packed box. "Today is not my birthday, Rick." "I know, just open it," I said, handing her a small box. "Oh, God," Lisa said, and her eyes lit up when she opened her gift. "This way, if you get up at night and can't sleep, you'll have something to do that won't disturb me." Lisa ran her fingers along the shiny silver top and traced the Apple emblem with her finger. "It has all the normal software, a CD and DVD player and updated memory," I said with a smile. "It's all yours, my love." Lisa hugged and kissed me, telling me with an evil smile that I would receive my gift later that night. She launched it, set a password, and connected to the network. She was like a child with a new Game Boy. I had more sex in the next 24 hours than I had in the last 3 weeks. I spent the next week walking around with a stupid smile on my face. She still woke up at all hours of the night, but at least now she wasn't keeping both of us awake. However, after a couple of months, I noticed that she was staying up longer and longer at night. More than once, I got up to check on her and found her in the living room or kitchen working on the computer. "Honey, you need to get some sleep," I told her. "I thought the doctor said it was only temporary and your body would return to normal." "Maybe you should call and make an appointment and get tested," I suggested. "Don't worry, Rick. Things are getting better. It's just that since you got me the computer, I have a lot of things to do and I can't do it during the day or after work, while I make dinner and take care of the kids. What are you typing? I asked. Just an entry in my diary. Can I look and read? I asked. Oh God, no, Lisa said, closing the cover. It's personal. It's like my personal diary, she told me. I would never ask permission to look at yours. Ask because I don't have it. Don't worry, I won't look at your precious computer, I said, trying to smile. Now put it away and go to sleep, otherwise you won't be worth a damn at work tomorrow. Do you know the story of the Garden of Eden and the forbidden fruit? Well, now this computer has become my forbidden fruit. I needed to look up what she had written there in recent months, but I had no idea how to do it. The first time I tried this was when Lisa went shopping with the children. Damn, the password is protected. I saw that her password was 9 characters long, but that was it. I tried every conceivable combination of birthday, anniversary, names, dates, but nothing worked. Then I tried pet names, phone numbers, and her social security number. Not again. Our resident computer geek always said he was the best around, and there was nothing he couldn't do. Let's see how good he is, I thought, entering his office. What's the matter, Rick? Is the server still too slow in your department? No, Ken, you solved this problem. Now I have a more difficult one for you, I told him when his interest peaked. I bought my wife an Apple computer, and she has all this crap password protected. She has some personal files that I would like to look at, but I can't get in, I told him. So you think your wife is a little capricious? He answered. Not really, but she has a diary that I'd like to look at. An Apple is a completely different animal. It has its own software and is not like a regular computer, he told me. So you're saying you can't do it? I threw down the gauntlet. I did not say that. It will just take a little longer. This is all. Bring it tomorrow, and I'll have it done by the end of the day, he said, puffing out his chest. It can't be helped. She keeps the puppy with her all the time, except when she goes shopping or to the gym. How long is she usually gone? He asked. No more than an hour and a half. Give me the weekend to play. I know a guy who has it, and I'll see if there's a back door or a way around the password, he told me. If you can't do it, just let me know and I'll go to one of the computer stores. That's all I needed to say. There's nothing I can't do. Contact me on Monday and I will find a solution to your problem. I watched Lisa like a hawk all weekend. I started crawling out of bed at night and watching her type. For some reason, the way she typed in her journal didn't make sense. I watched her type for a few minutes. She would stop, read what was on the screen, sometimes smile, and then type again. Okay, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But when I got back to bed, it dawned on me. She wasn't typing in a damn magazine. She was having a conversation with someone on the computer, going back and forth. After some time, Lisa slid into bed with me. I acted like she woke me up. What time is it, dear? I asked. Go to bed. It's late, she replied, climbing into bed. We all had breakfast together on Saturday morning, and I had a full to-do list for the day. I kissed my wife tenderly and told her I'd see her later, slapping her on the ass. This continued for the next 2 weeks. Ken was still trying to find the software backdoor, and now I was wondering what it does every night on the computer. I tried to play on her computer a couple of times, but she told me that it was her computer and that I should take my own. When our sexy night ended, I didn't like it, and I even sulked, but Lisa changed. Now, when she went to bed, it was like moving over. I'm not in the mood, or I have a big day tomorrow and I need to sleep. Something happened. On Tuesday, Ken came in with that shitty grin. Tell me, who is this man? He announced, raising the disc. You're that man, Ken. And what the hell do you have now? I answered. I can't exactly crack the password, but I found a way to get in, and when you install this software, you can see what's going on. It records her keystrokes and what she receives. I've set it up so you can send information directly to your laptop while it's on, and you're on the internet. You're that Ken, I said, high-fiving him. Lisa went to the gym, and as soon as she walked out the door, I took out her laptop, turned it on, inserted the disc, and followed Ken's handwritten instructions. I rebooted it, made sure the software was loaded, and put her computer back where I got it. Before going to bed, I took my laptop, turned it on, and fell asleep. The sleep was not sound, because at 2:45 Lisa got up. She didn't get back to bed until after 4:30. Tomorrow morning at work will be interesting. I got up around 5:00 a.m., showered and shaved, and headed to my office. I entered first. I made myself a cup of coffee and literally ran to my office. I locked the door, put on the coffee, the computer, took off my jacket, and turned on the laptop. My eyes were glued to the screen as I waited for it to load. I followed Ken's detailed instructions and started watching. Did I really want to open Pandora's box? I thought to myself. I was now in ignorant bliss. What happens if I find out something that ruins my wonderful life? I am sure that Lisa loves me as much as I love her. There is no way she could do anything to change this, at least that's what I thought. I entered the special history file, and after a few keystrokes, it was all in front of me. Her password, her handle, and someone named Mark218. This was a chat for adults. I sat back in my chair, sipping my coffee and reading what was printed on the screen in front of me. Lisa must have entered into a conversation that had already begun. Mark218 described in detail how his girlfriend liked to make him happy before they had sex. I've been reading for hours as people dedicate themselves to Mark's little story. And it ends with Lisa telling everyone that it's hot, but nothing compared to her waxing experience. Damn, it's almost 80 EU, I say to myself as I log out, at least for now. I don't want to be caught at work with this on the screen. I go downstairs, grab a fresh cup of coffee, and wander into Ken's office. You are that same person, I say, looking into his small office. It worked like a charm. I owe you lunch. I told you, where there is a will, there is a way. I returned to my office and did what I was paid for the next 4 hours. I couldn't wait for lunch. Lisa starts by telling everyone how wonderful I am. Rick makes love better than any man on the planet. He likes my hairless and smooth body, so once a month I go to the salon to get my hair done, my legs waxed, and now for Carlos too, she tells everyone there in Cyberland. You see, Carlos owns the salon, but mostly manages it now that he has a full staff. This Saturday, my waxing, Wendy got sick and Carlos said he would wax me. I always thought he was gay when he pranced around this place, but I guessed it was all an act. He led me into the back room and I took off my pants and sat in a chair. He would apply warm wax, rub it into the fabric, and then rip off the hair. We were almost done when he asked if I wanted my bikini area waxed. Wendy always did this, but I wasn't sure. Of course, go ahead, but be careful, I told him. The hot wax was great, but it didn't pull the skin tight enough before stripping the hair. Let me help you tighten it, I said, helping him. After another 10 minutes, he finished and began applying lotion and removing excess wax. The lotion was everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I need to make sure I get all the hair, Carlos said, inspecting my lower legs first before moving up. He plucked 1 or 2 hairs, but overall he did a great job. When he got to my bikini, he said there was still a lot of hair left there. Maybe, Carlos, we can agree on payment? I asked. Like I said, I thought he was gay, but how the hell did I know he wasn't? I thought if I gave him a little show, he'd knock off a few bucks. I was damn surprised when he came up and locked the door. I think we can come to an agreement, he said, taking off his shorts. I thought you were gay, I exclaimed. You and everyone else? How many women do you think would allow a straight guy to wax their bikini area? Not much, he said, breathing a little heavier now. We had sex for the next 15 minutes. Same time next month? He asked, looking at the diary. Of course, I answered. So I get free waxing and a little something I don't get at home, she said, typed with haha. I'll tell Wendy that I'll be taking care of you from now on. We both looked at each other and laughed out loud at what Carlos said. My heart was still beating. This is a joke, right? I said to myself. She's just fantasizing along with everyone else, I said, closing the computer. That's exactly how it should be. Lisa would never do anything like that. Hell, in 8 years I'd know. Isn't it? That night I wanted to meet her face to face and tell her everything openly. I walked in, and she just hugged me and kissed me deeply. I missed you so much today, she said, kissing me. I even prepared your favorite dish for dinner. Maybe later, when the kids go to bed, we can play a little, she said. Now take care of the kids so I can finish dinner. That is, if you want dessert tonight. I played with the children outside until dinner was ready. We all washed up, ate a great meal, and watched movies until bedtime. I helped them take a bath and then helped them clean up the bathroom after our water fight. The lovemaking, and I mean lovemaking, was as good as ever. We both had our fill, falling asleep in each other's arms. However, I reconnected my computer just to see if she was on the chat line again this evening. But after this session, she'll probably sleep like a baby through the night. I did it anyway. I got up at my normal time, took a shower, and even helped the kids get ready for school. I kissed my wife goodbye and drove to work, knowing that everything I had seen the day before was bullshit. I was in a great mood all morning. I got a ton of work done and was almost done with the week when it was lunchtime. I usually eat at the table, and today was no exception. Just for fun, I booted up my laptop, logged in, and logged into Lisa's computer. She didn't sign the contract last night, but now she was in business. There were about 4 people there chatting while I ate my sandwich, drank my coffee, and watched everyone chat. CSS22 told everyone how she cheated on her husband before returning home 2 nights ago, that her new lover was a little better in bed than her husband. The more I read, the more doubts I had. This was far beyond the fantasy of the bored married woman, as she sometimes called herself. I wasn't sure of anything anymore. Over the next 2 weeks, I logged onto my computer every night and got more than one surprise when I looked at what she or her other friends had written the night before. If you believe what she wrote, she cheated on me with our neighbor Rob, who lives 2 doors down, when I was out of town for seminars, and once a month with a traveling salesman from her work, along with the husband of her friend who had an open marriage. All told, in a 2-week period, she stated that she had slept with at least 5 guys in the last 2 months, including Carlos. I started to pull away from her. Hell, I couldn't stand the thought of her touching me anymore. The last straw was Monday morning. I didn't even want to turn on my computer anymore. It got worse every day. The Hummer was turned on along with Mark and 2 others, and I couldn't tell if they were men or women. I know what you're thinking. Did I talk to her or even confront her? No. I became stupid and did what many other idiots have done before me. I contacted a lawyer and began to draw up documents. Most likely we will sell the house and split everything else in half. I was never going to get custody of the kids, so I figured I'd get the best deal I could. I just wanted to be as far away from this bitch as possible. Lisa was on the line when the man handed her an envelope and told her that she had been served. She tried to call me at work but was told that I took the day off. I had a dozen messages on my phone, but I turned it off, fully knowing that now she would want to talk to me. The little note I attached to the papers spoke for itself. Expensive! If you were so damn unhappy being married to me, why the hell didn't you just tell me so I could leave? I just hope your entire experience was worth it. Say hi to Carlos, Mark, Hammer, CSS22, and the rest of the gang. By the time you read this, I'll be explaining to Rob's wife what kind of crooks we both married. I'll pick up the rest of the clothes later this week and tell the kids I'll call them tomorrow. Your little idiot is about to become an ex-husband. Damn it! That's all Lisa could say, reading the note and looking through the papers attached to it. At that very moment, I was showing Fran Lisa's story about how she and Rob sneaked up the stairs to the bathroom to have sex at the last barbecue. She went into such detail that it turned my stomach. That bastard, I didn't even notice it happened! Fran shouted. Wait until that son of a bitch gets home tonight. He's already dead. What are you doing with Lisa? Fran asked. She was served this morning, and now I'm going home to pack some things, I replied. I'm sorry I had to tell you, but I thought you'd want to know, I said, hugging her before leaving. I had packed enough clothes to last me a week, and was almost ready to leave the house, when Lisa pulled into the driveway. Crap. I wasn't ready to face her right now. Well, I think now is the right time, I thought, throwing my bags. Rick, it's not what you think, she shouted, running out the door. Just please tell me that you haven't talked to Fran yet, she asked, hoping that she would have time. Told her 15 minutes ago, I answered. Come with me. Lisa said, running out the door and heading towards Rob and Fran's house. Fran will eat her alive, I told myself as I tried to catch up with her. Lisa had already rung the doorbell when I ran up to their house. Fran's first reaction was to storm out and slap Lisa. Lisa stood up and started telling Fran that she and Rob hadn't done anything. It was all a stupid story that she made up and wrote. "Look at my description of Rob. Is it correct?" she asked. Fran began to read what Lisa gave her, and a smile appeared on her face. "I would like to," that's all she said. "Sorry for the slap. Would you like some ice?" "No, I just wanted to make sure I got to you before Rob got home." "I'm glad you did," she said with a laugh. "Let's talk later. Just make sure Rob doesn't see it." "Fine?" "No way," Fran replied. "Home? Now," Lisa said, grabbing my hand. Confused? Yes. Angry? Yes. But I'll let her speak. "How long have you been spying on me?" she shouted as we walked through the front door. "A couple of months." "What does this have to do with the matter?" I asked. "Big. How did you get my password and handle it?" she asked. "A computer technician from work helped me. Why do you even care what I think?" I asked. "You get enough without worrying about my baby," I said sarcastically. I think I deserved that shot, but not everything else. "Rick, I haven't cheated on you with anyone. Can you hear me? With no one," she shouted to me. "I guess I was wrong about Rob, but what about everyone else?" "Listen to me, Rick. These were just my fantasies. This is all. I'm not cheating on you." "You have to believe me," she said angrily. "It's not going to be easy for us anyway with you invading my privacy without you thinking I'm sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry," she said, placing her hands on her hips. "Lisa, I don't know what to believe anymore. I thought I knew you, but it seems I don't. Even if these were fantasies that I'm not sure I believe in yet, there are many hidden issues in them that interested me." "Rick, you don't understand. The way you described all the feelings you had at that time, I'm sorry. But I just don't buy it." "So, Lisa, do I believe you?" "Not really. What do I need to trust you?" "I have no idea. But now I just want to get away from you so I can think about what to do next." With these words, I left. I stayed at a Holiday Inn near where I worked and had a quiet dinner in my room. I was about to go get drunk, but I thought, what the hell does that get me? I was angry, confused, and wanted more than anything to get answers. She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She didn't even ask me not to leave, I told myself, remembering our short meeting this morning. Her main concern was that I was invading her privacy. Like I said, I didn't know her as well as I thought I did. Thank God there was a lot of work on Thursday. It was the end of the month and everything was due to be updated by the end of the day. I had just finished my last stack of bills when Lisa sent me an email. "Well, stop sulking like a little boy. Will you come home today?" Pouting. A little boy. Lisa really had a funny way of apologizing, I thought as I continued reading. "If not, please let me know so I can send your clothes to where you are." She's really heartless, isn't she? I thought, not believing what she wrote. "I'll pick up the rest of my things on Saturday." "I hope they won't bother you until then," I replied and pressed enter. 2 seconds later, I received an answer. "Don't worry, they won't interfere. I can always put his clothes in my closet. We wear almost nothing when we're together anyway." Lisa either tried to lure me into a trap, make me rush home, or make me jealous. One of two things, but nothing came of it. I just got angrier and dug my heels in. This is how Friday morning and the afternoon passed. You should really call my kids. They miss you. Oh, did I say my children? I would say your children, but I'm not sure if you are their biological father. I think that's another thing we should check, right? Damn it. Lisa was undoubtedly digging a deep hole for herself. God, I'm so glad I applied, I thought, looking at my monitor. I never expected Lisa's dad to show up in my office on a Friday afternoon, but damn, I never expected to be in this situation 2 months ago. "Rick, why did you leave Lisa and the children? Are you crazy, son?" "Dan, I think you should talk to Lisa, not me." "She brought this on herself," I told him. "Look, I don't care who started this. You two belong together, that's all that matters. You guys need to sit down, talk, and figure this out. Think about your children. Dan, she has already invited her lover and is now telling me that the children may not be mine, and you want me to sit next to her? Our divorce will take about 3 months before it becomes final. Maybe during this time we will get together, but I highly doubt it. I hate to interrupt this conversation, but I have a lot of work to do at the end of the day, and now I really need that work. He left reluctantly, and although I understood what he said, I couldn't stay with Lisa just for the sake of the children. This will not happen in my life. On Saturday, I take the children to the park. I don't want them to see their father walk away from them again, Lisa wrote in her final email. You definitely have a way with words. It's a pity that I saw almost nothing when we were married. Do what you want with your children, as you so eloquently put it in your last letter. It took me less than an hour to get ready. Right now I don't need much other than an iPod. Our bed was unmade, and I even checked to see if there was a new wet spot. I left each of my children a letter on their pillow telling them how sorry I was and how much I loved them. The last thing I did was take off the ring and put it on Lisa's pillow along with the note. Sell it. Throw it away. I don't care anymore. I hope you found what you were looking for. The corporate rate for my motel was $50 per night. I figured a furnished apartment would probably cost me about $851,000 a month, including all utilities. So I went looking on Sunday. If it was a nice place in a nice area, then it was out of my price range. The only thing I could afford was a 2-room apartment in a good area, and only if I signed an annual lease. So I haven't filmed anything yet. I called my kids every other day and saw them with their parents every weekend. My lawyer warned me that Lisa would probably get the house until the children were 18, and then it would be put on the market. I asked if Lisa's lawyer had contacted him, and he said no. What the hell is she waiting for? I asked myself. Have you signed the papers yet, or have you given them to your lawyer? The next day I sent her an email. No, she answered. Why the hell not? I'm not in a hurry, and you? She answered. Damn, she was still playing those games. About a week and a half later, I was sitting in my room watching TV. I was wondering if she was still visiting chat rooms, so I turned on my laptop and pressed the button. Lisa told everyone about her latest adventure. She went on and on about how her friend from another city arrived the day before. I told him I didn't want to go to dinner. I just wanted him to entertain me all night, she wrote to everyone. That's exactly what he did. We had sex from Wednesday evening until Thursday morning. She probably shot at me thinking I was still watching. I was angry, but I couldn't do anything. I signed up with the nickname Golden Tongue. Everyone greeted me, including Lisa. I told everyone that I had just returned from a date and described in great detail the hot 30-year-old secretary from my work. It's not often you meet a woman of this caliber on the market. I told them about our dinner, not forgetting to mention my future ex Lisa and our favorite restaurant. How after dinner we went dancing, and how she loved it when we started taking it to the next level, right on the dance floor. Hey dude, what was her name? Hammer asked. Let's just call her Candy, because her tongue was now melting in my mouth. This drew a ton of comments from everyone except Lisa. I spent the next 20 minutes describing how we engaged in foreplay on the dance floor. Finally, how I took her to my motel and made love to her all night. I only did this for Lisa because now she knew who was telling the story. I used every sensory descriptive word I could think of to describe what we were doing. I should have won a Pulitzer Prize for my story. I plan to see her a lot more in the future after my divorce is final. I told the group. Your wife must have been a real loser, wrote one of the group members. No, I'm not a loser, I'm just too stupid, I told them. Well, if you guys don't mind, I have this warm body next to me that's begging for attention. Maybe I'll text again tomorrow, I said as I signed. Over the next 2 weeks, we went back and forth, trading insults through our stories. Lisa was telling everyone about her little dorky husband, who could never really please her, while I kept talking about Candy and Sue, sharing my life after my bitch signed the divorce papers. This is how our life continued. When Lisa received court documents to get DNA tests done on her 2 children, she was furious. What the heck? She screamed at me on the phone. Just a simple DNA test to find out if I'm really their father. That's all, I told her. You're their father, you asshole, and I'm not going to obey. No problem. I will ask the court representative to ensure that the children are taken to the clinic for examination. This way, the results can go straight to the judge to compare with my DNA sample. Are you crazy? She screamed. Didn't you say that the children are most likely not mine? I'm just following what you told me, I said in a calm voice. I lied. Fine. I lied to hurt you in the only way I could. I know you lie, and you're very good at it. That's why I don't believe a word you say anymore. So if we're done, I'll have to take a break. I have a date that I'm already late for. It was nice talking to you, Lisa, I said, after hanging up. I didn't have a date with anything other than a six-pack of Corona, but I started plotting my story for tomorrow night, and it ended up being a real nap. The next thing I did was my face. Well, I didn't exactly do it myself. It was more like it was made for me. After work, I went to one of the local bars to have a few drinks before heading back to the motel. Sitting at the bar, in all his glory, was Carlos. Now I will explain something to you, and I want you to listen and remember it for the rest of your life. An adrenaline rush will not give you superhuman powers. You will be just as pathetic as you were before and after. Let me explain. After meeting Carlos, I probably went a little crazy. There was an asshole who entertained my wife every month, and I wanted my pound of flesh. I was pumped. I was hot, and maybe even a little drunk, who knows? I just walked up to him, introduced myself, threw beer in his face, and took my best shot. Hell, if this is my best chance. I was in deep shit as I found out. Carlos knew how to stand up for himself. 2 black eyes, a broken nose, and a face that the mother could no longer love, as well as several broken ribs. The last thing I remember before losing consciousness was Carlos lifting my bloody head by my sweaty hair and whispering in my ear, "I'm gay, you stupid shit. And anyway, why the hell do I need your skinny wife?" he said, letting my head touch the floor for the last time. I was taken out of the club, put in a taxi, and spent the next 8 hours in the emergency room of Mercy Hospital. Thank God for good health. I was x-rayed, washed and bandaged before hailing another taxi to return to the bar and collect my car. I went back to my motel and went to sleep, or at least tried to. That same evening, I published my next story, and everyone went crazy. "Hey, guy, is she in bed with you now?" Hammer asked. "She's damn sure," I typed. Something as sweet as this is hard to let go, if you know what I mean. Then Lisa wrote that I was lying like hell, and she knew it for sure. Everyone was outraged, telling her that she didn't know shit and that she was probably making up everything she wrote. And these were only the most innocent statements. My lawyer received the DNA test results and confirmed that I am the father of my children. "It looks like she was telling the truth," he told me. I told him I'd get back to him in a couple of days and went back to bed. When I woke up, I looked in the mirror. I looked terrible. I was gingerly eating breakfast when an epiphany dawned on me. I really was dumb. Let's see, Lisa didn't cheat on me with Rob or Carlos. The children were mine, and it was I who angered Lisa by invading her privacy. It was fantasy, damn it, and I overreacted. Lisa tried to tell me this, but I didn't believe her, and that's when things got out of control. I really was a dumbass. I knew what I had to do if I wanted my old life back, or if it's even possible. Lisa said some nasty things to me and I reacted accordingly. But it was time to do something, and I hoped it wasn't too late. "I'm sorry I didn't believe you," that's all I wrote, and pressed enter. "A little late for this, isn't it?" Lisa answered. "It's never too late if 2 people care about each other." "What about Sue and Candy? How can you want to give them up?" followed her sarcastic answer. "Just like you can cancel your monthly specials," I told her. Lisa only responded on Wednesday morning. "You hurt me. It hurt me very much," Lisa wrote. "After so many years spent together, you might think that you don't know me. Forgive me for all the nasty things I sent you. It never occurred to me that you were serious until they handed me the documents. Then I got angry and dug my heels in. A couple of times I was ready to come to your work, but I decided that eventually you would come to your senses, and if not, well, it's your loss. Carlos said that he spoiled you badly and asked for your forgiveness. His partner and friends were standing next to him, and he didn't want to appear soft, even though he said you were a weakling. Come back home. I need you in my arms again. Don't pack your things, just go home, climb into our bed, and make love to me. As always, your loving wife. It only took me 20 minutes to get home. The light was on in the hallway and the door was open. The children were asleep, but Lisa was not. She gasped when she saw my face, but I told her it was a small price to pay to get her back. I tried to make mad, passionate love to her, but the best I could do was some gentle sex due to my injuries. However, we fell asleep in each other's arms. I'm not sure if Lisa woke up that night. All I know is that she was in my arms when I woke up. It was good to be home. I took Thursday and Friday off, and by Monday I didn't feel so bad. Everyone at work laughed and had a lot of fun because I was in a bar fight and lost. But by Wednesday, I was old news. Lisa and I were back together, and I dodged a bullet. On Thursday, I told my boss that I needed a couple of hours off so I could take my wife to lunch. I owe her a lot, I said. I bought a dozen roses, grabbed a bottle of our favorite wine from the car freezer, and ordered a picnic basket from the grocery store near my work. With everything in hand, I drove to her office building. There was a park 2 blocks away, and we'd have plenty of time, I thought, looking at my watch. Imagine my surprise when I pulled up and saw Lisa walking out the front door with a tall blonde guy. I knew I should have called her, I told myself as I watched her walk to the rental car. It's probably some merchant taking her to dinner, I said to myself. When he pulled her door open and spanked her ass, I not only noticed it, but I put it in gear. When they started driving, I was on their tail, just 2 cars behind. When they pulled up to the Hyatt, I wanted to ram their car. But I decided I didn't want an accident and insurance problems. When they both came out an hour later, they were in for a shock. There was a blanket on the hood of their car, and a full picnic lunch had been prepared. The wine was in a bucket of ice, and the flowers were scattered among the food. I really wanted to wait, but I had just recently gotten my ass kicked. My ribs weren't healed yet, and I wasn't in any condition to go another 10 rounds with a guy I knew could kick my ass. I went to Lisa's work and found out the name of the person she had lunch with. With the help of a computer, you can find anything, names, addresses, last names, whatever. I called him at home and, being the good guy I am, told his wife that her husband only wanted to send her a card because he loved her. The postcard came back, I told her. Just let me check your email address and I'll send it again, I asked. My trusting wife gave me their email address. I sent her a photo from my phone of her husband and Lisa walking hand in hand to room number 214 with the caption, "Guess what they're having for lunch?" I hit enter and got back to work. I called Lisa's cell phone and was not surprised that it went to voicemail. "Don't bother calling me back. Ever. I guess I really didn't know you. Tell Mark his wife isn't too happy with him right now, and I'd give anything to hear the lie he'd try to tell her." "I'd love to chat, but I have a lot to do today," I said. "Oh, by the way, just sign the damn papers this time," I said before hanging up. She didn't call me back and signed them 2 days later. I was stuck with child support, and she wanted child support for herself. I told her that if she insisted on it, I would send the photo to her boss and fire them both. She withdrew her request. I think that sometimes fantasy is fantasy, but sometimes fantasy is reality. Who knows? Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.